Hello, and welcome to this first lecture of the new section on encouraging a proactive mindset for crisis management and BCP. So, in this section, we will take you through about how to encourage a proactive mindset. And in this particular lecture, we will talk to you about how can you empower employees to raise red flags early. This lecture of empowering employees to raise red flags early is a part of encouraging proactive mindsets to foster a crisis resilient organization culture. Now, the question is how to empower employees to raise red flags early. Now, before that, let's understand the importance of doing this. So, one of the biggest failures in crisis management is the delayed detection of the warning signals. When employees feel empowered to report potential risk early, they can prevent, minor issues from escalating into full-blown crises. So that's the importance of raising red flags early. Now, how to do that? Let's take a look at the various steps that you can take. First step is to build a speak up culture because employees often notice early warning signals, but the fear of retaliation or being ignored prevents them from talking about it. Now, what actions can be taken? So, first is to provide the leadership support. The senior executives must actively encourage reporting of potential risk, and they also must publicly recognize employees who report issues that prevented crisis early. Second thing would be to set up anonymous reporting channels where you can implement hotlines, secure email platforms, or anonymous feedback tools like Speak Up, All Voices, and also allow employees to report ethical concerns, cybersecurity threats, or operational issues without fear. The third thing is to provide the psychological safety, and that you can do by training managers to listen without judgment, promote zero tolerance policy for retaliation. So that's the first step of building a speak up culture. Second thing is to train employees to recognize early warning signs. And because employees cannot report what they don't recognize as a potential risk. So I may be I may have the courage to speak up, but I don't recognize what is the potential risk. So what can you do? You need to have regular training programs. Now, what kind of training programs can help? First is to identify operational red flags like delays, quality failures, etc., etc. Second is to spot cybersecurity threats like phishing, emails, suspicious access. Third is to detect reputational risks like social media backlash, customer complaint. And fourth is to recognize compliance violations like fraud, safety issues, and legal risk. So those are the areas you need to regularly train your employees to recognize early warning signs. Third step is to establish clear reporting channels and escalation paths because employees often don't know who to report to or how an urgent issue should be escalated. So what do you need to do? So what you need to do is to create a crisis reporting flowchart which is visible to everyone. Use Slack channels, whistleblower platforms, and internal reporting apps, and clearly define low risk issues, which is to be handled by the departmental managers, right? Then there are moderate risk that needs to be escalated to risk management team, and there are high impact risks, which is directly to be escalated to crisis management team. So you need to establish such reporting channels and escalation paths. The fourth is to reward and recognize employees who raise red flags because recognition drives psychological safety and trust in the process. And what are the things that you can do? You can have monthly recognition programs where you have crisis preventer of the month. You can have small incentives for proactive risk reporting. And you can publicly acknowledge teams that identified and mitigated risk early. So that's how you can recognize and reward employees who raised red flags. Then you create a feedback loop and act on employee reports once you have the red flags coming up to you because employees lose trust when the issues they report are ignored or dismissed. So you need to actually act on those things. And to do that, you can assign a risk management officer to review the reports, provide follow-up updates to employees who raise concerns, and show how policies, security protocols, or crisis playbooks were improved based on their feedback. Let us take a look at a few real-world examples. We will talk about Toyota's early warning system. Now, Toyota's early warning system allows factory workers to stop production when they detect quality issues, preventing major product recalls. Similarly, in Google's internet security team, they have the team encourages employees to report suspicious phishing and emails, which can help prevent cyber attacks. So these are two good examples of how the early warning signals help full-blown crises. So what are the final takeaways? So first is to build a speak up culture with leadership support. Second is to train employees to spot early warning signs. Third is to create a clear reporting channel and escalation paths. Then recognize and reward employees who raise the red flags. And finally, act on feedback and keep employees in the loop. So what do we do next? So we will look at second part of how to encourage a proactive mindset by looking at how to build a culture of transparency and accountability. So thank you so much for watching this lecture on how to encourage a proactive mindset for crisis management in BCP. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.